All right, guys, welcome to part 3 in our house flipping tips series. If you haven't watched 1 and 2, go do it. Today's video is gonna be about the bathroom, how we remodel, how you can remodel yours, and to do so the right way. I'm gonna share with you my list of the 10 check boxes I go through to make sure that it absolutely comes out stunning each and every time, and we don't do it without breaking the bank. So let's just get into it. The very first one is gonna be the layout and the design. If the house is newer, you're already probably good to go here. If the house is slightly older, you need to be looking for, is the toilet in the right space? Is the shower completely opened up so the bathroom can feel as large as possible? This can even happen when you're designing a new shower. I currently have a contractor, as he was designing it, was trying to make a separate toilet room, and that wall we needed was making the shower really closed off and you couldn't see all the way through it. And it makes the bathroom look smaller. So luckily, after looking over it a few times, we came up with the perfect plan. Still got all the benefits that we needed, but it feels a lot bigger. So yes, layout does matter even with the bathroom. The next thing on our list is going to be the plumbing and electrical systems. When it comes to plumbing, yes, there's a direct relationship to age as well, because when the home is older, some of the piping underneath might start to crumble and you might have some leaks. But also keep in mind there's other circumstances like a rental property. If you had tenants in there, especially ones that had to be evicted, be aware we have bought plenty of these type of homes, and we have dealt with all sorts of things pushed down into the sewer, including t-shirts all wadded up and jammed in there. And to where you can even run water and test, and it doesn't cause a problem until you get a whole family in the house running at a high capacity. So if you get into an old home or a tenant eviction issue, you might want to consider scoping the whole plumbing before you get started. But if the home is old, pro tip, budget in replacing the sewer lines. And if you don't have to, that's just extra money that you can keep in your pocket. So make sure the plumbing is all good to go. When it comes to the electrical, there's a lot less. Even if it's a somewhat newer house, you might only have the one light fixture above the mirror. In today's bathroom, long gone are the musky, dingy, cold bathrooms. We want to make sure that there's a light above the shower, so you might have to run a line or two over there to make sure that's covered. So budget that in as well. Lighting is super important. Sometimes the things like electrical behind the scenes are forgotten about, but are super important. All right, and now our third one is going to be the flooring and the walls. Now when I say walls, I mainly just mean the shower walls, and that they need to be waterproofed. If the home is old at all, or it looks like there was a DIY from the homeowner, just rip it out, redo it, make sure it's fully waterproofed, and add that into your budget up front. You don't want to rip all the tile off and find out that there's mold and all this other stuff back there later. Just plan for it and get it done right, because if it's your house, you're going to be dealing with it. And guess what? You don't want a homeowner to deal with these issues either, and or have them come back after you because you didn't do what you should have done. Now, in regards to the floor, it also just needs to be waterproof. You can do a tile, or what we love to do is the luxury vinyl tile. It looks amazing, it's not that expensive, and it's waterproof. In fact, we do it throughout almost the whole house for that same exact reason. All right, now number 4 is kind of a fun one. It's the fixtures and the fittings. By fittings, I want to make sure I go ahead and replace all the shutoff valves, because the last thing I need are for those to leak while we're doing the remodel, right after we spend a bunch of money, and on the homeowner right after they moved in with all the nice stuff that we put in there. So it's not that expensive to do, and they do tend to get buildup on there and tend to leak. So just replace them when you're remodeling a whole bathroom. Now when it comes to the fixtures, this is important. This is where you get to pick the faucet, the shower head, the towel rods, right? Pick all the things that bring it into 2023 without breaking the bank. A lot of people will spend way too much money because less expensive items can still make it feel like 2023, but make sure you're not picking things that make it look 5 years old, or even, I've seen it, 10 years old. So pick the right fixtures, go look in magazines, go try to find a cost-efficient version of the things that you like. Next on our list is number 5, and this will be cabinetry and storage. This does depend a little bit on what size of the bathroom and where. If it's just a small powder room, you might be able to get away with just a pedestal type sink. However, I will tell you, guests don't want to have to come and ask you for more soap, more toiletries, a towel. So we always put a full cabinet. And if there's a shower in there, you definitely better have the cabinet and or additional storage mounted on the wall. So keep all that stuff in mind when you're designing it. And obviously if it's a master or anything bigger, you're gonna need to go even bigger on the storage. So don't cut yourself short. It's annoying when you can't find enough space to put all your items. All right, now that brings us to number 6, the lighting. We've already talked about the electrical system, so that was kind of the pre-work. However, we really need to light up the bathroom. Long gone is the cold, dingy bathroom. We want lots of cans, including over the shower. We want the light fixture over the mirror. And heck, we even want lighting around the mirror, or there's mirrors that have a button or by touch can light up around the border. It's amazing. Take all of that stuff into account to really light up the bathroom. If there's a skylight, possibly leave it. If there's a window, fantastic. If the bathroom's on the outer wall, you might want to consider adding a window in it, especially if it's your own house. But when it comes to things like the window and the skylight, don't necessarily add them unless you absolutely want them and it will look amazing, because that is where people go way over budget to make sure that those things are included when the bathroom can look absolutely stunning and amazing without them. Just make sure there is enough lighting in the bathroom, period. Now, number 7 is super easy because it's ventilation. I hardly ever have to worry about it, but I have run across issues, so it is on the list. Here in the Phoenix Valley, you almost always have the ventilation fan, and that's all you really need. If you have the window that opens and closes as well, or you at least have that, then you're good to go. But don't leave a dirty old ventilation fan that has a bunch of gunk in there. It's super gross, and don't leave the old one because they look nasty and dated even from the outside. Just change them out. They're not that expensive, but do it and make sure the bathroom has ventilation. You don't want to deal with any type of mold issue. Another super easy one, number 8, is accessibility. I have it on my list because we buy properties in age-restricted communities, 55 and older, where we're considering if we should put a bar in the shower, if we should make sure that the shower is at ground level so there's no step or no tub and shower combo, right? Those are the extra things we want to consider, because even if the buyers don't need that now, a lot of times if you're already at that 55 and older type age, they might need it in the near future. Or when they sell it, the buyers that buy it next might need it then. If you're doing it for yourself, take it into account or not. Might depend on how long you're planning to be in that home. And now this brings us to the funnest part, number 9, the finishes. This is where people spend way too much time and frankly, too much money in many cases, going way overboard on everything that needs to go in there. You need to make sure you pick modern colors, pick finishes for the faucet, the shower head, right? The towel rods, all of those things, that they all go together with the tile in the shower and the flooring, but don't break the bank. Do comparison and make sure you buy things, and because these are the things that you actually see at the end of the day. And of course, right after the funnest one is the most boring, the budget and timeline. Yes, go through numbers 1 through 9 again, write everything down, but you need to include that labor. Get a bid from multiple contractors unless you have that favorite contractor you've already used, know, and love, and you know you get a good price and they do quality work. So the other part to this is your timeline. You can have a great contractor and they can do great work, but if they take way too long, especially when you're flipping a house, that costs money. And I will also tell you, even if it's for your own house, there's a cost, right? Your health and sanity is important. You don't want to start a project and wish you never started it after the fact. So please take this all into account. I hope this has helped you. Now don't forget, this is part 3 in this series. Go watch the other ones. There's going to be more. Follow me on Instagram at @KyleKargis. Subscribe to the channel so you can learn everything we do so you can do it too. Until next time, peace.